So I've been without my kids February, March, April, May, 4 months. 4 months my kids were taken from me. Put in the hands of John Kiska, who is at a minimum a pathological liar, likely a narcissist, and perhaps a psychopath.
You are not talking about John now.
No, we're talking about John Kiska, who you gave my kids to.
Yeah, I don't want to get into that.
You don't want to get into that?
Talk to me about anything related to
Okay, so, but you're aware that there's 11 volumes of evidence at the courthouse of evidence of what John Kiska has done to my children and I for 6 years?
Okay, that is something you can present it to court.
No, but are you aware that there's a lot of evidence that proves he's a narcissist?
I don't know what you mean by narcissist.
You don't know what I mean by a narcissist?
Okay, so...
But I can explain, because...
Okay, no, don't explain. I don't know what exactly it involves.
It means it's someone who's very abusive towards people.
Okay, that is if there is anything that the father had been abusive.
Yes.
That is what I look into, but then that is the thing that should have been reported at the time.
But I did report it.
Okay.
And in fact, I handed a copy of this to Viana Ibrahim.
Right.
Did you get a copy? Did you read this?
Mm-hmm. I didn't read the whole thing. I screened through it.
But this has the evidence that shows he's an abusive man and a pathological liar.
Right. Okay, understood.
But then you took my kids away from me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a pathological liar or a narcissist. So the kids were taken from the loving mother and given to the abusive father.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's no doubt you are a loving mother. There's no doubt about that whatsoever.
There's no doubt that he's an abusive father, too.
Yeah, there's no doubt you are a loving mother. I acknowledge that. I agree with that. I have no doubt whatsoever.
Why did you support a restraining order against me to prevent me from seeing the kids?
Because you were not following the rules.
What rules?
Because you were showing up at the home.
I was delivering chocolate chip cookies.
Hmm?
I was delivering okay, so first of all, let's go back to why did you get a restraining order in the first place? Why did you take my kids out of my house?
Okay, that is a question I wanted you to answer. When I came...
Yeah, why did you take the kids from my home?
That is what I want you to ask, and that is what I want to answer.
Okay.
So listen to my answer.
I'm listening, yeah.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So I came to your home.
Yes.
Just Mohammed, nothing, no police, nobody, and you denied me access to the home.
No, you came to my home.
Let me finish.
Well, when did I deny you? You were in my son's bedroom with Vienna a week earlier.
Okay, so
I didn't deny
came
access
because we had information that was a protection concern, and that is written in the court papers that you had received. So when I came to the home, I came all by myself.
No, let's talk.
Listen, let me finish.
Okay, but you're not telling the truth.
No. Okay, so that's something else. I'm telling you.
I have notes.
Okay, that is fine.
I took notes every day you showed up.
Listen, I don't want to argue here.
Neither do I.
Okay.
But I want you to be truthful.
So you asked the question.
Yes.
Please listen to the answer.
Yes. Okay. What's the answer?
Whether you accept it or not, my answer is I came, just Muhammad, myself, and because we had information that was very concerning, so I came to verify that information and assess the situation, right? And then decide accordingly. When I came, you immediately closed the door and you said, go back and make an appointment. So I called police for support. Police came, okay? And then you started, you were inappropriate in all those conversations. And then while I was there, I decided that the children should not be there. And then, they were taken to the father's home. So that is my answer to your question.
Okay, that's your answer. Well, there's a couple things wrong with your answer. First of all, just because you're upset doesn't give you a right to abduct children. Just because you were upset.
I was not upset.
Okay, well,
I was doing my
so
job.
were they in any imminent danger?
Hmm.
Because I think that's what has to, based on some case law that I've read, your role is to assess whether or not the children are in imminent danger, and if they are, you're entitled to remove them.
Yeah, that is exactly what
So
happened.
you felt that they were in imminent danger?
Yes.
Okay, well, that's interesting. First of all,
that is in my
what
affidavit.
sort of? I know it's in your affidavit. Yeah, I've seen
okay,
it.
So
But how were they in imminent danger?
Well, because the information we received was concerning, and they came to verify that information, discuss with you.
But did you
And
see?
they was
Were
really
there
hoping.
steak knives hanging from the ceiling? Like what?
I honestly,
Yeah.
I was really hoping that I will come in. We'll sit down with you.
Uh-huh.
We'll have a discussion. We'll talk about the information that we had received,
Yeah.
and then
Mhm.
that would have helped a great deal.
Okay.
But you
Yeah. Okay.
denied
So
me access.
here's the other part of the problem. Let's set aside all of that story for a
Okay.
moment.
Mm.
The reality is,
Mm.
you arrived with Vienna Ibrahim.
Right, for the
the e-
transfer meeting.
No. You came into my home, and I've been traveling, and a lot of stuff has been stolen. Let's see, you took the kids on the 5th, and then you threatened a court date the following, and you followed through on that. That's for sure. The weekend before, I think it was the Thursday, you and Vienna came to my home. Oh, here we go. You came on the Thursday, the 31st of January. You two walked into my home. You chatted about stuff, and then you asked me to sign a voluntary CAS, a voluntary agreement where the Children's Aid Society would be involved in the family in perpetuity. Do you recall that meeting? We were in my son's bedroom.
So
No, do you recall the meeting?
Okay, I do.
Okay, so
I
that
do
was
know.
so
Okay,
let's.
so
That's January 31st.
Okay,
and what happened, I have all the evidence that supports this is what happened because I have emails which were responded to by Vienna. You didn't provide me with the business card or an email address, so you didn't get them right away, but I have all of those. Now, all I did was I said, I'm not going to agree to sign I'm not going to agree to sign a so-called voluntary agreement unless I understand what you're asking me to agree
That is true.
to.
That is very
And I
true.
asked for some documentation.
That is true.
And I asked for it a few times.
Yes, you did.
And that between the 31st and I never received any documentation. All I received was a knock on the door on the 5th of February, and that was you and 3 police officers, and I was on the couch, if you recall, with my son Sean, and you insisted on taking the kids, and I just sat there, and I didn't argue because I realized this is so ridiculous. But, there was no you coming on your own. There was no anything. There was no support for you no reason, no support, no warrant, no nothing. I think for some reason you were upset that I refused to agree to sign a so-called voluntary agreement without seeing anything. And I think you got really mad and you decided that you had the power to take my children, and you did.
Okay. So what happened is